Welcome to Single Mom Survive and Thrive. Just me plus three, and we're living our best life. Hello, everybody. I am back. It's been a minute. I am so sorry. I haven't done a podcast for you guys in a little while, but I'm back. I'm here. And I am ready to hang out with you guys and enjoy this episode together. I'm going to do a little something different on this episode. I actually don't have anybody to interview, so I'm going to interview myself today. And you'll have to excuse me. My voice is a little bit croaky because well, there's multiple reasons. I haven't rested my vocal cords very well recently. I have been busy doing all kinds of things, and so I lost my voice a little bit last week, but it's coming back. So sorry if it's a little husky, guys. Thank you and bear with me. But I wanted to do a little something different. Today's episode I am entitling Surviving the Wreckage. And surviving the wreckage, what does that make you guys think of when you think of that statement? Actually, what am I thinking? I always start my episodes by taking a drink, right? So I'm drinking some white wine. Cheers, everyone. Today's episode is special because it's actually Thanksgiving today. And I don't know about you guys, but I personally get a lot of mixed emotions and feelings around the holidays. As you all know, I have been single 7 years, or I should say single for my ex-husband 7 years. And I've really never identified myself as having not been single after that. And so the holidays are an interesting journey, don't you think? I'm sure some of you are nodding right now. I don't know why, but Thanksgiving is one of those holidays that just pokes at me. Somebody told me at one point, make sure you always do new traditions with your kids and so on. And Thanksgiving used to be one that I did start to go down to San Diego, actually, which is where my brother lives, and a good friend of mine. She's also a single mommy friend. And so we would go and hang out over there, and that was sort of our Thanksgiving tradition. The last few years, we've fallen off on that one. But, and then I just remember like a pivotal one about 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was 2017. I was laying outside on my, in my patio area, and I was just looking at my phone. I think I was writing poetry, actually. I started writing poetry in 2017, which if you don't do that, I highly recommend you do it, because even if you're not very good, it's so therapeutic. It's like word art, like just like vomit, your thoughts onto a page and then put them together, and it's like art. Anyways, I was laying there outside on my sun lounger, and it was the evening, but it was still light out. And I just remember looking up to the sky and feeling so depressed and thinking, what has my life come to? I'm 30, I think I was 37 then. 37, single mom, laying here on my own, like just feeling very alone and very depressed and just sad, just sad. Like, this is not how I designed my life. This is not how I thought I would end up being, is not married, with kids, right? Like, obviously, if I was prior to that, if I was just a single person, just having a great time in life, that's different. But if you have children and you've undone all that, and now you're sitting there as a single parent, you just feel so like I failed. I really did fail. And the truth is, I never failed. That isn't the case. That's just how my life that's just how my life journey went. But at the time, I felt just horrible. And I don't know, I always remember that Thanksgiving. And I feel like that was a good turning point, because after that, I haven't struggled with that depression as much, but I still get that poke on Thanksgiving. I kind of get this week, I've been feeling quite nervous, actually, about coming towards the holiday, because I think I've been fearing the feelings again. And I thought it would just be a really great thing to start wrapping up my next episode into the topic of what I'm calling it, which is surviving the wreckage, right? And holidays is a piece of that, don't you think? That is a big piece of the wreckage, is getting through the damn holidays. Holidays are joyous. Holidays are fun. Holidays are special. Time for our families and fun and all the great things and the fuzzy feelings we're supposed to feel. And sometimes we don't feel that. And we put these expectations on ourselves in life to enjoy the holidays. And sometimes you just don't want to. It's just another freaking day. And I'm not going to lie, you guys, I am literally sitting on my bed right now in my pajamas. It is now 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and I have a glass of wine in hand. I look like shit. I mean, I'm just what you would call not in the best Thanksgiving state right now. I look like shit and I don't want to get out of my bed. So I thought, this is just time. It's time to start this episode today and walk you guys through my day with me a little bit here, because I know a lot of you right now, if you're listening to this, it's probably not Thanksgiving Day anymore because I haven't edited it yet and published it. But when you do get to listen to it, you'll probably giggle, because I wonder what you all were doing on Thanksgiving Day. Were you sitting in a room crying, hiding from the family? Were you enjoying your kids and not thinking about all the dramas or the stress or whatever it is that you're dealing with in life? I don't know. Like, I just want to know. Actually, I think it'd be really cool if you guys drop me a line at Single Moms Survive and Thrive on my Facebook page. And so let me know what you were doing on Thanksgiving. I would love to hear from you guys. Anyway, but Thanksgiving, yeah, it's just one of those weird days. I'm also from England, so it's not something I was born and raised celebrating. However, I've been here almost 20 years now. That's half my life. So I've been celebrating half my life. So it's one of those funny holidays that I picture it. This is what I picture on my perfect Thanksgiving day. I picture a really hot guy. By the way, we're going to talk about this in other episodes, but I'm going to now start a new project for myself, and it's called Manifesting the Perfect Partner, the PP. I'm going to call it PP, because I'm kind of, I'm gearing up now, mentally ready to want to start like dating again properly and like finding somebody special. And like, it's been 7 years, you guys. It's been 7 years. So anyway, I'm going to start manifesting things and trying to develop my perfect partner in my head. So I meet him one day. Anyway, but back to my desire for my perfect Thanksgiving day. So it's my PP, right? My perfect partner. It's my hot guy. He's tall. He's not necessarily really tall, but he's taller. I'm 5'3", so it doesn't take too much to be taller than me. But he's tall, he's hot, he's just amazing, right? He's just that guy that I'm like so safe with, and I just love him to death. And he's here with me, and we wake up on Thanksgiving and we chill and we like just do nothing. And if it's raining outside, we just sit in bed and watch TV or do other things, right? Anyway, and then we like make breakfast, and then we just hang out, and then we put music on, and then we just clean up the house, and then we decide if we're going to watch a movie, then we walk the dogs, and then depending if my kids are roaming around, in my mind, they're not at the house because maybe they're a bit older and they've grown, or if they are, they're like hanging out too. We're all laughing and having a good time. And then my PP says it's time to start cooking at like 2, and then we start cooking. Anyway, I could go on about my fantasy of the perfect Thanksgiving day, but nonetheless, none of that's happening right now. None of that's currently my situation, okay? So I guess my long story short is that when I think of my perfect Thanksgiving day with my PP, it's I don't have that happening, so it's sometimes a little depressing, right? I have my whining dog right here on the bed with me. I have my parents are here with me, and they're amazing. So I'm happy. I'm very grateful. You know what, guys? Stop. I'm going to stop focusing on what I don't have. I'm focusing on being grateful for what I do. Because isn't that a shit fucking show that we walk through every day? Like, how can we just be so grateful and live in that, instead of just looking around and thinking, man, I don't have this, I don't have that, I want this, I want that. It is all about mental state and attitude, isn't it? And being so grateful, because once we're grateful and we have gratitude, we really do live a better life, And so I'm happy. I'm happy I have a bed to sit on right now. I'm happy it's sunny outside. I'm happy I have some wine in my hand. I'm very happy about that. I'm happy that I have this little rat dog right here on my bed, that he protects me from, the big bad scary men out there. He's like my true love. He's just chilling here with me. Like, why would I think about a PP when I have my rat dog? I swear. But back to the topic, I want to talk about surviving the wreckage, because I went to church the other day, guys. I actually went to church. It's been a minute, but I went. I used to go to church for a long time with my ex-husband, and I really do believe in the Lord. So I love that, but I've been slipping and not going and just being very, not Christian-y, which is fine. But anyway, I went to church a couple of weeks ago, and actually there was a grief guy that got up. They were talking about a grief ministry that they're going to be starting at the church. So the pastor for that got up and talked, and he said, grief always reminds me. He spoke to the process of grief about how it's like a shipwreck, and that when you are he pictures himself in the ocean, stranded, like, like after the ship goes down, it all falls to pieces, and there's pieces like floating around in the water, and all you're doing left to do is hold on to a piece of the wreckage and just hold on and not drown and live and just keep your face above water. And that's sort of like the rest of your life when you're dealing with grief. The ship never gets put back together, and he's specifically talking about the loss of a loved one, right? But don't you agree that when you get divorced or separate or whatever, it is just the same? It is just the same being a single mom. Like I've always said, that we survive and then we thrive, but there's a big portion of the journey that's just straight survival. As for the shipwreck that we deal with, I often think, that's the children, and we're just floating around as a single mom or dad, if you're listening and you're a single dad out there, floating around, holding on to pieces in the water, trying not to drown. Just keep your head above water, right? And so I thought that was a really great analogy, and I thought it would be kind of cool to talk about that in today's episode and pick apart what some of those pieces of the wreckage are and how we can help each other. First of all, laugh about it because it's funny. I mean, everything that's bad, we should just laugh at. And second of all, just kind of give each other support through that. I know this is a one-way conversation at the moment. You guys are listening to me, but I would love for this episode to be a little different in that you can drop me a note. A couple of you have, and I love that, so thank you. Drop me a note with thoughts about this episode or ideas or anything that you want to just say hi. But, give me your thoughts. What's the wreckage you guys have been dealing with right now? What are you struggling with? And so I thought it would be kind of just a good idea to jump in on some of the things that, like I said, I'm dealing with in my wreckage. And I'm sure you guys can relate. And what do we do to get through that? Like I said, holidays is one. That's one for me that's just very, very difficult. I think I know why. Because when I grew up, I had a really happy life, really great family, great parents, and Christmas, holiday. We didn't have Thanksgiving, but Christmas, Boxing Day. We always just had the best time. I just had a great loving memory to the holidays. So I wanted to keep that alive for my children. And I've always done the same sort of effort around Christmas and Easter and Thanksgiving and everything, right? And so for me, like I was saying earlier, there's an expectation to just make the memories great and to make everything memorable, It all just comes to expectations, What expectations are we setting for ourselves? And, are they going to be met? And honestly, most of the time, it's just so sketchy to set expectations because that's just not going to, things are bound to not be met. And then you got resentments building inside of you. My favorite saying is expectations are resentments in the making. So try not to have any if possible. But it's just it's life expectancies. It's what did I expect of my life at this time? I visioned, I should say, sitting with my PP and just loving life at the holidays, just being so in the moment with them and enjoying my kids with them and having just that peaceful place that only I can get with my family in tow, with my kids around me and my PP, When that's not happening, you just have to get a little reminder in your head that that's not happening. You have your kids around you, which is fabulous, or your family or your parents or whatever. Friends as well. Don't forget friends. Shout out to friends. But, the PP situation, that's not there. And that's okay. That's okay. But, surviving that wreckage of just living through not having exactly what you thought you were going to be having at this time in life. I don't know about you guys, but I'm 41. Ugh, hate that I say that word out loud. But, at 41, I did not envision myself sitting here alone in my bed. And if you could see my bedroom, you guys would love it. It's kind of like a teenager bedroom. I fixed it all up this year I love my room, so I'm in a happy place, don't get me wrong. However, it's just I envisioned my PP with me. So holidays are tough. I usually try to keep my mind busy. I'm working on something different this time. I'm working on feeling the feelings, sitting in it and, because I went through a lot of traumatic stuff last year. That's another thing too. Holidays tend to cause trauma as well. Holidays tend to cause a lot of emotions in people. And if you have anybody you love dealing with addiction, that can be really tested through the holidays. My ex-husband is an addict, I should say. And last holidays, right before Thanksgiving,